The thing on guns, the Centers for Disease, and I just want to throw this in quickly, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention noted that their last report, almost all national studies of defensive gun use have found that firearms are used in self-defense. This was, I think, a couple of years old, but this is never mentioned. Between 500,000 and 3 million times a year, guns are used to save lives. And that's never mentioned.
Well, the bottom line is it is a rush to the left to take our guns, to corrupt our education system so that we teach people that free speech means I get to say what I want, but if I disagree with you, you're not allowed to. We'll suppress that. And take up all the guns, give free health care, free education to everyone, which means no health care and no education for anyone. It's socialism. I mean, the bottom line is they are following a path to take us to socialism, take up all our guns so we can't do anything about it except their behavior.
It is amazing, too. But by the way, the escaped Tennessee inmate Curtis Ray Watson, who's back behind bars now, can you imagine him knocking on your door and you know who he is, and Joe Biden came and took your gun 2 days before that? If that's the only protection you have?
You know, what frustrates me, though, is they want to, do background checks or do this. And none of those things they wouldn't have stopped anything that happened. Yeah. And so we think that passing a law that says it's illegal to have a gun is going to stop somebody who just murdered somebody, which, by the way, is against the law. So why are they going to abide by that law? All they're going to do is take up the guns from law-abiding citizens and make sure that the criminals have easier access and you have no way to defend yourself.
Let's look to 2020, and again, Congressman Trent Kelly's my guess. Are you worried about the amount of retirees again and the possibility that you guys could maybe get rid of Pelosi again?
Wow. Mike Conaway, my friend, is retiring, former chair of the Ag Committee, ranking member there now.
Is it around 15 or 20, or how many is it?
I think it's around 15 right now, but the number will go up. There's always that amount of retirements. People think everybody stays there forever, but the average length of service is 9.1 years in the House of Representatives,
it's also not
it's
to
not
say
unusual.
That some Democrats are also retiring, but...
They are. They tend to be older and have stay there a whole lot longer as Democrats than we do as Republicans.
You look at, if we do get the nomination of the Democrats, God forbid, like Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and Barack Obama again, which brought us Obamacare, I think it's almost a foregone conclusion that they're going to push through a Medicare for all a program.
I mean, they've said that, which means health care for no one. I mean, goodness gracious. First of all, you can't afford it. Second of all, do we really want the government deciding who gets treatment and who doesn't? Patient and doctor is always where health care should be.
Let me look at a couple of people. Elizabeth Warren, a top front runner.
Medicare we've all been paying since I was 15 in the drugstore. If you have Medicare for life or government health insurance, you'll have to have more benefits. And Bernie's talking about eyeglasses, hearing aids, everything. How much are your taxes going to go up?
How much are your costs going to go down?
No, different question. How much will your taxes go up?
No, it's how much are your costs?
I have a different question. Will you pay more in taxes? Why don't you want to answer that question? Because Jake said tonight, that's a Republican talking point. It's not a Republican talking point. It's a question.
The question is not, do you have health insurance or not have health insurance? The question is, how much are you going to have to dig in your pocket to pay?
I know that's the answer that you'd like to give, but will your taxes go up?
The question is your total cost.
Okay, but there's no answer to the question.
They've never been able to explain this. Now, when Tingle Thighs asks that question and she can't answer it, there's problems there.
Absolutely. They don't want to. Government-run health care is not the answer. I mean, our VA system does they try to take care of our veterans, but it is government-run. And go back to the over a year waiting list to get care that you need. Just think if you maximize that and do that with everyone in the United States, you may wait 2 years to go see a doctor about a heart attack, and guess what? You're dead by the time you get there.
The other front runner, let me mention him, Bernie Sanders.
Medicare for All is comprehensive. It covers all health care needs. For senior citizens, it will finally include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
But you don't know.
Second of all,
you don't know that.
Second
Bernie.
of all,
we'll come to you in a second.
Let me give you some background. This is during the debate, and when a moderate shows up, or at least a moderate responds. And this was one of the other candidates for president. I think it's one of the governors.
When I wrote the damn bill, many of our union brothers and sisters, nobody more pro-union than me up here, are now paying high deductibles and co-payments. And when we do Medicare for all, Instead of having the company putting money into health care, they can get decent wage increases, which they're not getting today.
These union members are losing their jobs. Their wages have been stagnant. The world is crumbling around them. The only thing they have is possibly really good health care. And the Democratic message is going to be, we're going to go in, and the only thing you have left, we're going to take it, and we're going to do better. I do not think that's a recipe for success for us. It's bad policy, and it's certainly bad politics.
Oh, they got a lot of problems. They got a lot of problems.
And where are they going to get the money to pay for this? I mean, I don't understand, because we want to give out everything, but, someone has to pay taxes, and I'm one of those, and you are too. So we need to do things that make sense rather than just say we're going to give people something to get votes.
Also on your mind, the USMCA,
yeah.
FCA, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we need this trade agreement done. It helps our ag folks, and also.
Are we any closer?
No. The leadership in the House has no interest in bringing it to the floor, although it's already passed Mexico and Canada, and it's good. There's they have no qualms with it whatsoever, except they don't feel like it's theirs, and they don't want to give the president a win. So they put politics in front of this nation. We need that $3.2 billion for Mississippi in exports to Mexico and Canada. Bring it to the floor.
So this is hurting our farmers, and it's not Trump who's doing it. It's the Democrats.
Absolutely. It's the Democrats, and will not bring it because they refuse to give the president a win.
Take a look at anything out there that we could point that there's been some bipartisanship.
Boy, in the House right now, It's difficult. Everything, even like this crazy election law they had, which bottom line is they say, well, it's election security. What it is they want taxpayers to pay for their campaigns. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
To pass a law that says we want taxpayer dollars to pay for our campaigns. I'm out on that.
They want this. Did they put in there and put the dormitories in so they had free housing in Washington, too? Is that another part?
I don't know if that was in there, but goodness gracious, I know I don't want to live with those guys. I'd rather pay for my apartment.
Trent Kelly is my guest. I got to ask you this. I saw something this morning about some troops moving apparently into Hong Kong. That's heating up over there. What do you think?
I think a lot of it has to do with China is suffering right now, and they're hurting, and they're doing everything they can. In Hong Kong, obviously, there's ongoing things there. But, I mean, that's an internal problem that we need to keep our eyes on and watch. But that's scary. But their economy is weakening and weakening. If we get behind our president, we could get some of this trade stuff done instead of USMCA is number one. Pass it, and China, the dominoes start to fall.
If at some point they knew that the president of the United States of America, you're right. I mean, if Schumer in the Senate and, of course, Nancy Pelosi said, we're backing this, let's get it done, then they wouldn't wait till the next to 2020 and see if they could have somebody with a weenie spine on there. They would go on and get it done.
They absolutely would, but they're hoping for Democrats.
Sounds like everything's on hold. Everything's on hold until 2020.
I hope not, but that's exactly what it feels like up there. The only things that are passed are partisan, political, that are good for messaging but are going nowhere. Will not go to the Senate, will not pass.
Final thoughts, sir.
Wow, we just got to find a way to get common sense solutions. Immigration, we need immigration workers here. We've got to figure out a way to get it to the floor rather than worrying about things that don't matter.
In about the span of a week, we could handle a lot of problems if we just had some bipartisanship.
We need bipartisanship.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Probably going to be about as rare as a snowfall in July, or August, as far as we know here in Mississippi. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.